Erron and I both grew up in households that we went to church all throughout our childhood. After we got married, we probably didn't go to church as much as we did growing up.
There was a time when my mom and dad got divorced that, that's when I pretty much stopped going to church. People were asking, how's your mom and dad doing? But it was just more like, it was the gossip, it was the talk of the church, and it was just, I got to the point where I didn't really want to go to church. I didn't really care to go to church. We would still go to church after we got married occasionally, and we weren't really active in church. Really lost all interest in church after that time.
When Connor was born, he had just a lot of things going on, and I think that was the hardest thing that Erron and I've ever had to go through. And I think that it brought us closer to God. But when he was first born, I think I was a little upset, not angry at God, but and I never asked why, but I just hated to see him go through everything he went through. But I remember just praying for him and asking for things. I was very specific in what I asked for, and I wanted God to take care of him in ways that I asked.
A spiritual turning point for me after Connor was born. I always prayed, but right after he was born, I really understood what a gut-wrenching prayer was. Just praying that, that God would help him and just keep him alive.
But then one day I was actually working in the concession stand at Chesapeake Little League, and I saw this church, and actually I saw Jonda, and I grew up with Jonda, and they were trying to buy pops for everybody at the ball field. Anybody that needed pops, they were giving out coupons, and the ball field made it a little hard for them. But I thought, wow, it's pretty neat that a church would be that interested and want to do something for a community like that.
Well, that first Sunday when we came to church, everybody was friendly, but really it was just the atmosphere of the church. Everybody was laid back, wearing jeans and
we knew a lot of people that went here, but everybody made you feel welcome and like they wanted to have you here, and everybody was excited to meet you, and it just, it was easy. It was just really easy.
Yeah.
I think the neatest thing, and I think the thing that we both were excited about, was everybody jumped in and helped. You didn't feel like you needed to be a member of the church to be involved in the outreaches. Everybody was welcome and invited to any event that we had, and we were both impressed that the church did so many outreaches, and everybody just gave so much, and they were excited and happy to give. Yeah,
the outreaches are what really blew me away. That a church would just do so much for the community and for the people in need. I've never seen a church do this before. Before it was all concerned about the church itself, where this church is more concerned with everything else. The church has done so much, giving away backpacks and coats and toys. They do so much for people. Since we've been coming, there was a time when Trent was preaching, and it seemed like he was preaching at me a lot about, God wants you to be uncomfortable with with your life, and he asked me to lead a small group, and I honestly didn't want to do it, and it still bothers me to do it. I hate praying in front of people, but again, God wants you to be uncomfortable, so I'm uncomfortable.
We'd come home from church, and Eli asked me what he needed to do to get to heaven, that he wanted to go to heaven, and he wanted to be with Jesus. I told him it was really easy, that he just needed to pray a simple prayer, and we prayed it together, and it was awesome, absolutely awesome.
And Trent asked me if I wanted to be in the water with them when they were baptized, and I'd never heard of such a thing. But it was an amazing thing just to be in there with them. It's something I'll never forget.
And as a mommy, to step back and watch, and to see everybody together, and Erron being there, and to be able to be there while they're being baptized, there's nothing better than that. And there's nothing better than knowing that your kids will spend an eternity in heaven with you. The way God has answered prayers with him and how far he's brought him is absolutely amazing. I just feel so much more complete, and I feel like, especially in the last year, that we've got our priorities more straight, but we have our kids in church, and I just feel so close with God, and I feel just such a presence with Him, and I feel like our family's happier and more complete.
Connor's fine, and as he's gotten older, I keep growing spiritually. Before, I always felt like God would be disappointed with me, and God would always just, I don't know, I just guess He was just always disappointed with me. And when we started coming here, I started to learn more of the love that Jesus has for people and the compassion that He has, and that's what He means to me.